again, my friends. Welcome back. Thank you, everybody who is still hanging out with us after our first block, and welcome to block 2 of the 24-hour live stream. So, this block, you're going to be with me. I'm Clover and Gliperal, and we're puzzle setters and solvers, and also members of the SudokuCon team who are helping to plan this con. And with us for the beginning 30 minutes of our block, we have somebody who you may not recognize on site, but who you will definitely recognize when I tell you who it is. This is Yoshi Anpuku, who is the president of Nikoli, the pencil puzzle company in Japan. And Michi Kano is going to be translating for him, and we have about 30 minutes of his time to talk with him. So, Yoshi, if you could tell us a little bit about yourself and about Nikoli and the role that you play there.
ですね、
あ、
吉さんの、はい、自己紹介と、あと、ニコリでの役割について説明いただければと。はい。
はい。Hello, I'm Yoshi Anpuku, live in Tokyo, Japan. Uh, I am the president of the company Nikoli. And ここから日本語で大丈夫でしょうかね。
はい。
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 私はですね、学生時代にパズルが好きで、それでもうニコリに、大学卒業してからニコリに就職しまして、その後、ずっと、ニコリの本の編集者をずっとやってまして、3年前から、代表、プレジデントになっております。
はい。ニコリに就職されたのは何十年前ですかね。
大学出てすぐだから34年前ですね。
はい。And Yoshi has been a Nikoli fan since he was a student. And he went to the Kyoto University and studied mathematics. And after graduating college, he wanted to work for Nikoli. And he applied for the job. And since then, he has been the editors and the puzzle makers and became the president 3 years ago. So he has been with the company Nikoli for 34 years.
Wow. So, Yoshi, I read a little bit about you, and I heard you invented Shikaku in 1989, and you've obviously been with Nikoli since shortly after that. So you have been in the puzzle world for decades, for I mean, as long as I've been alive. And so, one thing I really wanted to ask you is, what changes have you seen between the puzzle world when you were new at Nikoli in the 1980s and now? What's different about the puzzle world then and the puzzle world in 2024?
ですね、資格とか発明されたと思うんですけれども、1980年から今、2024年まで、パズル界っていうのはどのように変わったとお考えですか？
そうですね。日本で初めてパズル通信ニコリが、発行されたのが1980年で、その時は日本にまだパズル雑誌が一つもない、時代でした。で、我々が最初の、日本で最初のパズル雑誌を、発行したんですけれども、その後ですね、読者が、そのまま、パズル作家、パズルメーカーに、なったりしまして、すごく読者との交流が、活発になって、その中で新しいパズルをどんどん、みんなが考え出すようになりました。それで、すごくいろんな、たくさんの種類のパズル、が、この間に、発明されて、その中でも、数読が一番広まっているという状態になってます。
はい。たくさん作られたパズルで何種類ぐらいって言ってればいいですかね。250か。
そうですね。一度でも乗ったことがあるということで言いますと、もう500とか600とかそのぐらい
そうですか。
あると思
はい。
います。はい。
はい。ちょっとここまで、訳させていただきます。So let me translate the first part.
Please, thank you.
So in 1980, the Nikoli published the first puzzle magazine in Japan. So before that, nothing existed. Unlike the US, I think the US has the great puzzle culture, and once they published the monthly the magazine, maybe it wasn't monthly in the beginning, and the readers, the fans of a Nikoli puzzle became a puzzle makers, and since then, like the bond with the Sudoku, not the Sudoku, the Nikoli readers has gotten strong, and the people started inventing and submitting puzzles, and Yoshi said more than 500 to maybe 600 puzzle have been created. Of course, Sudoku is the most major one.
Yeah, it's very interesting to hear that because there are American organizations that do similar things where readers submit puzzles. But I mean, I'm thinking of Grandmaster Puzzles, for example, with Thomas Snyder. But I don't think that there's a company like that in America or even in the Western world in general where people, the readers, are able to have that relationship with the actual pencil puzzle publisher. I think that's a very interesting thing about Nikoli.
ですね、確かにアメリカにも、例えばトーマス・シュナウダンさんとか、アメリカのグランドマスターパズルみたいな感じで、読者が投稿するっていう形はあると思うんですけども、これほど体制が、会社として体制が整ってっていう規模にはなってないと思うのですごく興味深いです。はい。
One
And
thing, go ahead.
okay, yeah, it's not from Yoshi, but I had opportunity to travel with Maki Kaji, the founder of
Okay,
Nikoli.
oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah, and he said in the beginning, the three founder was there, and there were so many mistakes in the manual. The reader was like, "This is wrong, and this is a better way." That's how, he said that's how the relationship built. So it's very interesting.
So I'm curious that he mentioned American puzzle history as well, because another question we were wondering about when we talked about this was if you're familiar with the Western puzzle community or even with the American puzzle community specifically, how is it different from the puzzle world in Japan? We don't have very many opportunities to communicate because of the language difference. I mean, we solve Japanese puzzles, but we don't have a lot of chances to talk with Japanese puzzle designers and kind of work together. So, can you tell us anything about how that world is maybe different from what you see in America or in the Western world?
ですね、日本のパズルコミュニティの方と接触したり交流する機会っていうのは限られてるんですけども、例えば西洋とかアメリカのそのパズルコミュニティとのなんか違いというか、は何か感想というかご意見というかありますか？
そうですね。まあ、想像するにそれほどの、大きな違いはないのかなとは思ってはいるんですけれども、単純にやっぱり日本の、パズルのメーカー、作者がかなりたくさんいるとい
はい。
うのがやっぱり大きいのかなと思います。
はい。
やっぱり300人ぐらい、います
今、
ので、
ニコリでは。はい。
えー
はい。
それが一番大きな、はい、
はい。
要素かなと。はい。
So like he doesn't think that there are major difference
Okay.
between like Western puzzle community and the community in Japan. But one thing he could think of is like uh, Nikoli has like many puzzle makers, like the steady puzzle creator of 300 people.
Oh,
So
wow.
that creates the strong bond.
Yeah.
I think maybe yeah, that's a difference. But overall, it's same. He
So we're both puzzle designers. If people like us kind of in the Western puzzle community wanted to engage more with Japanese puzzle designers, if we wanted to have more communication, uh, what could we do? Are there other than solving Nikoli books, of course, which I already do. I'm a big fan.
Okay.
But how can we kind of reach out to the Japanese community? Do you have any ideas? Does Yoshi have any ideas?
ですね、やはり、その日本のそのパズルコミュニティや、作者の方と、ニコリさんと、これから交流を、したいっていう場合には、どうやってアプローチするって、交流を始められるんですよ。もっとね、もっともっと、
うん。
いろいろコミュニケーションを深めていきたいっていうことなんですけども、
うん、
お呼び
そうですね。
お願いします。
はい。
あ、得意ですか？
率直に言うとちょっと、私がプレジデントになるまでは、それほどなんか、こちら
はい、
から、
はい、
交流を持ちかけるような動き
はい、
というのは多分ほとんどなかったと思うんですけれども、やっぱりこれからは、なんか、我々の方からいろいろちょっとそういう交流する機会も作りたいなとは思ってます。あと世界パズル、世界数読選手権ですか、ワールド、数読チャンピオンシップ、
はい、
ワールドパズルチャンピオンシップ
はい。
に、えっと、日本チームの団体に、去年から協賛を始め
あ
てまし
あ、
て、で、私もゲストで、大会を見に行ったりしてますので、
はい、
そのあたりから徐々に、交流を広げられるようにしたいなとは思っておりま
はい、
す。
うん、はい。And he said, that's a wonderful the question. And before, Yoshi became the president of Nikoli, um, Nikoli didn't have much opportunity to open and engage in,
Mm-hmm.
working with outside the puzzle makers. But now, he'd like to start and sort of, open the gate so that everyone can get together. And the one thing that, Yoshi started doing recently is Nikoli became a partner with a Japan team of World Sudoku
Oh,
Championship and
that's I recognized World Sudoku Championship.
yes,
I have many
the Puzzle
friends who
Championship.
have gone
Yeah.
there.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So
Uh-huh.
okay, so you partnered with the Japanese team.
Yes,
Okay.
and Yoshi started, going to wherever, the championships are held. So you can grab him
Yes.
there. And also, あ逆にどういうことやってほしいか聞いてもいいですよね。
あ、はいはい。え、
Uh-huh. And the question from him is like, what kind of, the platform, what would you like to do? Like, he
Oh.
has a question for you.
Oh goodness. See, turning it back to me, of course.
Yes.
No, I guess one thing I'm curious about is a lot of communication in our community happens on a small number of websites. So a lot of the English-speaking puzzle designers use Logic Masters Germany.
Mhm.
It's funny, it's a German website, but many people communicate in English there. A lot of our communication happens on Discord, a lot of it happens on YouTube. And I often wonder, because I know that there's this wonderful puzzle culture in Japan, and also, I mean, not only Japan, but also other countries where English is not the predominant language. I wonder what we're missing out on by not knowing what platforms Japanese puzzle designers use to post their puzzles, or where they communicate with each other, or how we can find out what people are working on. I guess one question I have is there a site like Logic Masters Germany, but for Japanese puzzle designers? Is there somewhere that everybody always puts their puzzles and discusses puzzles? So that would be one question. I'm also very,
Right.
very excited that Yoshi will be at SudokuCon, because I think that's a good chance to have some of these conversations in
Yes.
person. Yeah.
And it seems like, at least from my
Okay.
view, a lot of the
ですね、
puzzles
例えば英語圏では、例えばなんかドイツのプラットフォームも結構有名だったりするんですけれども、Is Yoshi frozen?
Oh, is he?
no, did we lose Yoshi?
Oh, we may have
もしもし。
lost his connection. Yeah, one moment.
Okay.
あ、それ、それ。
Oh, we can hear his
I
audio
think we have
now.
his audio, but not his video. I think he might have a connection problem, but give it a moment.
アンプクさん、声は聞こえますか？ Well, he's not responding, so maybe.
Well, let's maybe give Yoshi a moment to restart and we can talk a little bit about the program for SudokuCon because that's an announcement that we're going to do.
Sure.
Can we give him a few minutes to restart his computer, whatever he needs to do, and I can talk about the program a little bit? Okay, so Michi and Yoshi, if you would just wait a moment, and I'll take the opportunity to tell you guys a little bit about the SudokuCon program because we've already gotten a lot of questions about it in chat and just from various places. And we are officially announcing most of the program tonight. We've had a lot of people confirm that they're going to be there. Yoshi is one of them. He's going to be delivering a workshop on Shikaku. We also are happy to announce that we have we've got confirmation from Thomas Snyder, who was mentioned earlier in this interview, who is going to be talking about how to solve Sudoku like a world champion. He has a talk about his experiences with the World Sudoku Championship. He's a multiple-time winner. And he is also going to help us host a just one digit contest. So a contest format where it's fast, it's chaotic, puzzles go up on the screen, and you just have to identify a single digit that you're able to place. We have, let me pull up the actual list. We're going to have a setting and solving tools panel with a lot of people who the community knows as developers of solving and setting computer tools. We're having Ranks, Sven, Swaroop representing Penpa Plus. So that should be a big draw. Yep, fantastic. We are having, so we are hosting a couple of smaller YouTubers and puzzle streamers, and I think Yoshi is reconnecting right now. Lucian, Chatty Cathy, and Nell Gwyn are going to be doing some live content creation, kind of YouTube/Twitch style puzzle solving on stage at SudokuCon. Has Yoshi unfrozen now? Do we have him back?
We have him back for a second. Now he appears to have
アンプク
frozen
さ
again.
ん、もしもし、聞こえますか？ Looks like he's frozen again.
So we also have a confirmation from Glum Hippo, who is going to be hosting a workshop on developing new Sudoku variants. That's something that he is known for having done in the past. We have Philip Newman and Mitchell Lee confirmed for a technical developments in Sudoku block. We have the crew from Skunkworks, led by Full Deck and Missing a Few Cards, who are going to do a Snackdoku setting event. And we'll put up the full list shortly when we kind of do the official announcement, but that's just a little sneak preview for you folks, and we're just we're waiting for Yoshi to rejoin. Michi, what is the role that you play? Are you also a Nikoli person? Or are you? Because I don't think I don't think we spoke to you about your background. Oh, we lost her audio too.
I think she's muted herself.
Oh, you're muted.
You know, I can barely solve the easy puzzle.
That's okay. There's
But,
still a place for you in the puzzle world.
But I have been working with Nikoli as a sort of US promotion and a
Okay.
marketing person, and I had opportunity to travel with Maki Kaji,
Yeah.
founder, and all over the US, and he visited like everywhere except the Kansas City.
Yeah.
and visited schools and shared the fun part of puzzles, and it's from kindergarten to high school, and he traveled to Africa, and he always said like a puzzle is not the logical training. It is like a more like a pastime. He used to love to say it should be sort of the space in your daily life that we are all too busy working on something, and he said that's why he wanted to promote.
That's a wonderful thing to bring up right now, actually, because when we were thinking about kind of final questions to ask Yoshi and ask you, one thing that we discussed is, does Yoshi or do you have an answer to the question, what is it about puzzles that leads people like us and people like you to dedicate decades of your life or an entire career to them? When I mean, people sometimes struggle to understand that. They think, oh, isn't it just a casual hobby? Isn't it just for fun? It's just a game, or maybe it's like brain training, like you said. But what is it about puzzles? And I think that answer from Makitaji is fascinating. I'm curious if you have more thoughts on that.
And
why are puzzles so important to us? I think everybody has a different answer to that, but they're always interesting.
And he used to say that he loved to get the postcard or newsletter. Back then there was no email, and he talked about someone like who is taking care of her mother at the hospital, all day long. And when I'm solving, the puzzle, I can be myself and I can keep going. Otherwise, I go crazy.
That's wonderful. It's
Yeah.
just really that calm space in the day where you can just
Yeah.
truly focus on something like that.
So in a way, I think, he wanted to say that you can go beyond space and time
Oh, wow.
because it creates a vacuum. Yeah.
What a wonderful answer. Oh, and Yoshi is back.
Okay.
Fantastic. Well,
Perfect
Yoshi,
timing.
this is perfect because we can wrap
Yeah,
up. I'll ask Yoshi that question as well,
Yes.
which is, what do you think it is that makes logic puzzles so important? What is it that causes people like us and people like you to feel like it's good to spend decades of our life or our entire career on something like logic puzzles? Why do puzzles matter?
ですね、最後に、クローバーさんからの質問なんですけれども、クローバーさんとかヨシさんとかグリパルさんもみんな何十年も自分の人生をロジックパズルとかに捧げているわけですよね。それはなぜ大切なのか、重要なのか、なぜこのパズルまあ、ということで、これは安福さんの個人的なご意見でいいと思うんですけども、なぜ安福さんこんなに人生捧げちゃってるんですかと。
まあ、一言で言えば、まあね、好きだからということになりますけど、まあでも、ロジックパズルやることによって、まあやっぱりロジックパズルを皆さんに提供することによって、やっぱりすごく、皆さんにとってやっぱり素敵な時間といいますか、それが提供できるということが分かってきましたので、やっぱりね、やっぱり人生の、まあやっぱり自分の役割としてそういうことができるというのはすごく、生きがいとして、大きいのかなというふうに思っております。やっぱり楽しい時間が提供できるということが、やっぱりこれを仕事にしているということかなと思ってます。
はい。So if you sum up with one word, it's, because I just love it, right? However, after the decades of dedicating the time in this puzzle company, he now thinks that, providing the time of joy and relaxation or something fun is the reason that he keeps going on, so that that he can dedicate himself
I
because
love that
Mhm.
answer. Yeah.
Yeah, mhm.
Yeah, I mean, really, it's not so much about the puzzles as sharing the puzzles with other people who will find joy in them, and I definitely feel that as a motivation as well, and I think that that's I mean wonderful that he's dedicated so much time and so much of his career to bringing that to such a huge audience. I mean, we're familiar with Nikoli. A lot of our audience will be familiar with Nikoli, even though we're just halfway across the world. So you really have a huge reach. We're really grateful for what you do.
でも地球の、まあね、私たちは反対側にいますけれども、本当に参加している皆さんもニコリのファンの方、本当に多いので、すごく、ありがたいということで、共感できる部分がたくさんありましたと。
はい。
はい、うん。
はい。あ
Thank
り
you
がとう
so
ございます。
much. Yeah, thank you so much for your time. We're really glad we got to speak with you for a little while. I'm sorry about the technical issues, but we really look forward to seeing you again at SudokuCon in April. And a lot of people who are listening now will also be at SudokuCon, and I'm sure now looking forward to hearing more. So thank you so much. We're
Thank
going to
you.
go ahead and go to a short technical break.